Now onto dealing with debt. Those sneaky credit card fees can also be a problem. Joining us is Ted Rossman of creditcards.com. Ted, what can you tell us?
Credit card surcharges are allowed in more than 40 states, and New York was a recent notable addition to this list. The thing is, though, in most cases, consumers are not actually being charged extra for using their credit cards. Just because a surcharge is allowed doesn't mean that a retailer is actually putting one into place.
What do people need to know about these fees?
I see these most often at gas stations, where there's often a slightly higher price for using credit versus cash. They're also sometimes in effect at smaller independent retailers. Think a mom and pop store that sells things for your home, or a pizzeria or nail salon or something like that. In most cases, businesses are not passing on surcharges to the customer because that's really a barrier to making a sale. I think of credit cards in most cases as just a cost of doing business. And I know that retailers don't like paying these interchange fees, which often run 2 or 3% of the purchase price, but that really is the cost of doing business, and large retailers have come out and said that they're not going to be passing along credit card surcharges in large numbers. Now, they are trying to fight interchange fees through other means. They're pursuing some litigation against credit card networks and issuers, and they're trying to fight some of that on their own terms. Kroger recently banned Visa at some of its stores. So that interchange battle is alive and well, but that's mostly playing out directly between stores and the card issuers and the card networks.
What can people do?
You may see occasionally a credit card surcharge passed along, and if you do, it's important to look for that, because I've heard of times when a restaurant, let's say, might be passing on a surcharge and customer didn't realize it and they were upset about it, and they would have just paid cash if they could. So credit card rewards are great. I love using cards if you can pay your bill in full. Just something to look out for. The New York example is interesting because technically the way it works is that if you're being charged extra for using a credit card, that has to be clearly disclosed. And it can't just say 3% extra if you use a credit card. It has to actually spell out in dollars and cents what the credit card price would be.
Any other tips before you take off?
Merchants are allowed to offer discounts for using cash, which is a common way that we see this. And I've actually used that myself. There's a local pizzeria that I go to, and they charge you 10% less if you use cash. And that's actually worthwhile for me because my credit card rewards would top out at 3% on paying for dining. So if I could get 10% off for using cash, that makes sense. It's really much more the exception rather than the rule, but something to look for, especially at some of your local merchants.
For more Business First AM, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.